Hi, it's Bob Pickett in the studio right now with Rodney Crowell. Good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see you, Bob.
You have got a brand new project. It's called Kin, a very special project. You, of course, grew up outside of Houston. You read a book, The Liars Club, Mary Clark. What was it about that book that just inspired you to say, wait a minute, this is my life right here. I need to do something with this?
Well, Mary, first of all, Mary is a world-class writer. I mean,
as you are.
Truly. Well, I would not presume, but thank you for saying that. I can say it about her because I know it to be true. I would be guessing if I attributed myself with greatness, but it was just one of the most beautifully written stories about growing up in Southeast Texas that I'd ever come across. Maybe it is the quintessential memoir about growing up in Southeast Texas. Now, my book, Chinaberry Sidewalks, is a pretty good one, but Mary defined the genre with that one. And I just knew how great a writer she was. And also reading her book, I said, this is my sister from down the street. Really. I mean, she just captured the Chinaberry trees, the morning dew, you know, the mosquito truck, and the whole thing that we grew up with down on the Texas Gulf Coast. And we became friends when I was writing my book, Chinaberry Sidewalks, and she was very supportive, and we had this ongoing conversation, and mainly about our childhoods and the lives, you know, where we came from. And then one day I said, you're a poet and you're a language scholar. I said, you can write songs. And, you know, I know you can. She said, I can't write these songs. I said, yes, you can. So in conversation one day, she said, you know, my boyfriend, you know, it was always, it said, when I was, you know, graduated, or I don't even think she graduated, you know, and she just said, the story on me was, if the law don't want you, neither does Mary. I said, there's a song, if the law don't want you, neither do I. She said, well, write it. I said, no, we're going to write it together. So I wrote like a first verse and a melody and sent it to her, and in my email comes the second verse. Oh, it just slotted perfectly written the second verse. I said, okay. So we started that way, and we finished the song that way, and then I said, hang on, I went to New York, and in about a year's and a half time, we'd written 15 songs.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So the new project is called Kin, but you're on it, but a lot of very special guest stars. Emmylou Harris?
Well, the way that happened, Mary doesn't sing, or didn't sing. She has since become a singer. She's musical, this girl. And so we had, because we were collaborating and we're telling the story of two kids that grew up in Southeast Texas, it's female narrative and male narrative. And so I was thinking, well, I started with Nora Jones, who did If the Law Don't Want You, Neither Do I. And from there it just started snowballing, and Emmylou came in to do a song, and then Leanne Womack and Roseanne Cash did these songs like a sister conversation. And then Lucinda Williams comes in and nails this ballad that we have. And I said, well, we have all these great women singing these songs. I can't do all of the male leads myself. We got to expand this. So I got Vince Gill and Chris Christopherson. And that became the family that sings Kin.
So that's where the title came from. It's like a family get-together.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, you got to do a sequel called Reunion. You realize that, don't you?
Probably a family reunion. Yeah.
Well, is it tough to write songs with somebody who's with a novelist who doesn't really have a musical background?
No, not with Mary Carr. I'm telling you, she's a language scholar. I mean, she knows poetry back, you know, to before, you know, way back 4 AD. She has a knowledge of language and poetry that's so deep, but she's also a barefooted redneck girl, you know. So it's that Texas blood, you know.
Kind of like the sister you never had, almost.
Yeah,
right?
Sister I never had, who loves language and is so skilled with language that when I start playing the guitar and singing, she goes, oh, yeah, all right, you know. And then we would just start to shape these songs, and it was some of the easiest work I've ever done.
Really?
Really.
Can't wait to hear it. Now, this has led to other projects. You have more projects coming down.
I do.
To Pike and a Cup, including another collaboration with Emmylou.
Emmylou Harris and I have done an all-duet album. Just finished it. It'll be out early in 2013. It's an old country record, you know. We just did some old stuff, and you know, just Emmy and I go back to the mid-'70s, and when we first met, we would sit around and sing Louvin Brothers songs and Everly Brothers songs, and we loved that duet sound, and that's just how we approached making this record. We said, well, let's sing Invitation to the Blues. And we just recorded it, and there it is. You know, we do Dreaming My Dreams, and some of my old songs from the '70s we do, but we weren't even thinking about trying to make a songwriter-early album. We just wanted to sing some songs.
But it's an album that really speaks from the heart, though. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a country record.
Any other members of the hot band making any appearances?
James Burton makes an appearance on it.
Okay.
Plays, you know, it's a long time since James Burton played with us. And I think John Ware plays drums on one of the tracks.
So again, it'll be out in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Get Ken right now and look in 2013 for this duet with Emmylou, okay?
And then I'll go ahead and say I'm very near to finishing a solo record that will come behind that I'm really excited about too.
You have been busy on this, haven't you?
Busy, yeah.
Well, it's going to be great to hear some new music from Rodney Crowell.
They call it playing music. It's not working.
Didn't sound like you really worked along this last project. It was just a labor of love.
Just fell together. Just, you know, it wasn't even labor. It was just a fun of love.
So, okay, now before we stop the interview, the first time you met Mary,
mm-hmm.
what was that like? Did you guys just hit it off?
I met her. Well, Mary tells the story the way she tells it. We met at a downtown bistro in New York City. She lives in New York City. She says we were all dressed up in our rock and roll clothes and on this, you know, country singing star, the way she described it.
She does have a way with words.
We sat down in you know, and pretty soon New York City fell away, and we were barefoot running behind the mosquito truck, and so our whole conversation was about dirt rings around our neck and how long we could go without taking a bath and shooting other kids with BB guns and all the stuff
that's life.
That, you know, so rich. Life's rich peasantry in Southeast Texas. That was our first meeting, and that was really, I think, when Mary knew that I was a kindred spirit and we could create. I hadn't brought up the subject of writing songs yet, but our conversation turned into all these songs.
Did she inspire you to write your memoirs? John Sidewalks?
Well, actually, I had written a record some years ago called The Houston Kid that was musical memoir.
Right.
And strangely enough, I started tinkering with, I said, I think I want to write this story as a book. And Mickey Raphael, who's played harmonica with
Willie, right.
Willie for years, I was talking to him about it, and he said, well, I got something. And he brought by my house, he brought the Liars Club by, and he said, if you're going to write, read this. And I did, and I said, that's how you do it. And it took me 10 years to write my book, you know, because I just had to keep throwing it away and starting over to try to pare it down to where the language was that concise.
Wow, it's an amazing book. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Rodney Crowell.